Hello and welcome back to another episode of Into the 99. Where have you got 99 cards? Because Commander's number one. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel. I've got Sherman with me again today. My brain stopped working there a little bit. We're doing a double episode today, double take at bright and early, now no longer 6 a.m. So there we go.
It's not next week? What are you talking about?
Yeah, we both just really like this outfit.
Yeah.
This is our new uniform.
Nice and clean, nothing going on.
Yeah. No, yeah, we're back. We're back to another recording. We're doing another, I would say, pretty silly deck. I'm proud of this one. It's pretty stupid.
I have to say, sorry,
Oh,
I have
go
to say, like, I like the fact that we do make these silly decks because, like, when you look at other people's stuff, like, they always go for high power again and again and again. It's like, and we mentioned like how we're sick of high power. We just want to have fun.
I just like to do dumb things.
Yeah. So
and this deck is full of it. We'll quickly get our pleasantries out of the way. I assume my week was still good. We're recording early because I've got some stuff going on. I took time off like 3 weeks ago to get ready for a garage sale. My wife brought all her things here, which again, that happens. Get married, right? But too much stuff. So we have like 2 or 3 sets of everything. Like I got like 13 sets of dishes. It was actually like 8. But that's still too many dishes. So we spent a lot of time just organizing the house on the time off, and then we were gonna have a garage sale, and then I got deathly ill and couldn't walk and talk and lost my sense of taste. You know, I lost my sense of taste. This deck has instants in it. Where's the real Daniel? But yeah, no. So other than that, like the reason I'm off is because this weekend is like a big like garage sale weekend out here. So I'm doing a garage sale followed by a big anniversary party. Very busy. And Slothy's in the midst of moving when we're recording this. So Slothy's not here.
Yep.
He's here in spirit. Is Slothy in the room right now? Do. And Sherman, again, a quick, how are you doing? How do you believe you're going to be doing in a week? Let's manifest a good week.
Manifest a good week. All right. I believe next week I will not yell at anyone.
You and me are talking different weeks.
That's when I'm not doing something like that. Like I have a good week. Like let's be straight. I don't actually yell at anyone. I just get frustrated and I talk in a little bit like meaner tone, but like I kind of suck it up and be like just to let them know like I'm upset. I'm trying not to yell, but I am upset at this situation.
Let's get this straight. I do yell at people.
Yeah, fair enough.
I blow up. Let's jump right into the silly one. I think this is going to be a list we'll literally fly through. It's a commander with flying. I have to preface this. I think that every one of the profile arts are garbage. I don't like them. I know many people like them, and that's fine. Everyone can like the different. I just generally, it's not for me. I usually think that they look like trash. They're not something I enjoy.
Yeah.
However, I saw the Nadu one, and it's hilarious. It's one of the funniest arts I've ever seen. And let me pop this up here right now. Let's get it going. It's hilarious. I love how it looks. It's such a silly looking card. It was spoiled for you guys. It'll be a week in the past, but it was spoiled like yesterday. And this is a dumb card. It's very, very strong. It's really, really cheap. It's simic. Every set has to have good simic stuff, right? Back-to-back simic commanders. Nice, by the way. Nice. So let's anyways, the Nadu is just it's such a cool version of it. I can't not use this Nadu. It's just too silly looking. I need a foil of it. I want to get like a foil signed one of it because I'm in love with this art so much. It's just got immaculate drip.
It reminds me of like those children books describing like, animals and everything. Like I don't like just the artwork though. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Like a children's book going through like this is what this bird is like, this is what it looks like and everything. It's just someone draws it and everything. It's not an actual picture, but like they're drawing. That's what this reminds me of.
Exactly. It's the reimagining they've pieced together from a skeleton.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like this.
It's like a dodo.
this is a really, really, like a dodo. That's funny. A really, really, I would say, cheap deck. It's like $100. $100, excluding basic land, still $100. You get what you get. Pretty mid salt summary. I assume that's just because we have a lot of instants. We've got a crazy amount of instants in it. Yeah. Let me talk a little bit about what this bird be doing. Nadu is 1/1 green, 1 blue for a 3/4 bird wizard with flying. That's already pretty good stats at 3 mana. That's we've got built-in evasion. We've got a 3/4 body at 3 mana. And we're not in colors that are hard to hit, right? Green and blue. It's not like it's a 3 color. That's easy. Nadu has flying and this nonsense ability. Creatures you control, not Nadu, all creatures. All creatures I control have, whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it onto the battlefield. Not put it onto the battlefield tapped, put it onto the battlefield. First off, I don't know what they're thinking with that. That's silly. That even if they followed it up with my least favorite line of text of this triggers only once each turn, that's a really, really good ability. You see the top card, you either get it to your hand, or if it's a land, it ramps you. There is zero downside to this ability. All you have to do is target it with spells or abilities. You can go auras with this deck. You can go this is a bonkers card. Equip is an ability. If you just try, like if you put the equip on back and forth, like if you have like Swiftfoot boots, which this deck doesn't. This deck, gasoline, no protection. Well, some protection, but no protection where it should be. But yeah, it's again, anything that's targeting your creatures with spells or ability, you do it. And it's not whenever you target, it's whenever it becomes a target. You want to remove my commander, you are only ramping me further. But then there's still more on this card. Otherwise, put it into your hand. This ability triggers only twice each turn. So we can potentially get a pseudo 8 draw that is not a draw. You can go a very salty route with this of like an omen machine if players can't draw cards. You can do any of that nonsense because this puts it into your hand. This is awesome. You're not penalized for losing it. You're not going to kill yourself if you run out of a deck because you don't have to draw it. You put it into your hand. But again, a twice per turn is silly, and that's twice per instance. If you blink this, you're going to be able to do it more. This is a silly commander. There's no way around that. This is a absurd commander. This is a budget deck, and I've done some play testing with it, and it draws aggressively fast. This may be the hardest draw deck I've ever had, and it doesn't really have draw cards in it. It's pretty garbage. Let me preface that right there. It's not a good deck, but I'm going to have fun playing it. I think you will too.
Yeah. Oh my! Like when you showed this to us, when it was like you're like, oh, I'm building this, and I'm like, I haven't even checked out the spoilers that day yet. And I just saw it and was just like, what are they thinking?
I can see you also aggressively abusing this deck.
Oh, of course. Off the bat, I'm thinking of things like more uncertain. You threw in things like Sway of Illusion.
Is that a blink card? I can't even remember.
It's going to be an instant, but you target as many creatures as you want, and you change the color of them. So it's like if you have 10 creatures, if you have 10 creatures and you cast one spell, you target all 10 of them. Like you get to look at the top 10 of your cards of your deck.
Only triggers twice.
Who cares?
So you only get to look at 2. You only get two. That's okay. I put the other version of Nadu up on the screen there. I'll pop it up there. It's just nowhere near as good. It just there's obviously the only way to flex this card is to use the portrait, and the portrait is one of the silliest things I've ever seen. It's there's literally no way around me getting that version of it. It's hilarious.
Oh boy. Boy.
Let me take our artifact section away. It's a pretty heavy one. We have a soul ring. That's it. That's the whole artifact section. There's
not even an arcane signet.
Nope, don't need it where we're going. We have just a soul ring. It's 1 mana. You tap for 2. That's it. That's all we want. We're good. We don't need other artifacts where we're going. Let's jump into my creatures. It's a pretty small list. The instants in here are going to be our meat and potatoes. I'll give you a spoiler. But yeah, take us away into our instance.
Not instance, creatures. creatures. We have 12 creatures here. So the first one we have here is an Avenger of Zendikar. So for 5 and double green, it's an elemental with a 5. That's a 5/5. When it enters the battlefield, you create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each land you control, and it has landfall where whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a +1/+1 counter on each plant creature you control. This is stupid.
Digging through 8 cards around and being able to put lands into play. The other thing too, by the way, those lands coming into play tapped just lets me continue my shenanigans.
You just be like, okay, like if you have this out and the person like drops a land, just go like, hey, hear me out here. Hear me out for 1 second. It is a May. Can you not put the +1/+1 counters on your plants? Please. Just this one time.
Yeah. I never knew it was May. That's interesting.
Yeah, just like like hear me out here. Hear me out. Let's politic here. If you do not put your +1/+1 counters on your 15 like plants here, I may give you some card draw next turn.
I have extensively like just run like playtest like goldfish games on this. And you could draw your whole deck real easy. So you're gonna get a lot of lands into play with this nonsense.
Oh, good lord.
We have a Battlefield Thaumaturge, 1 in a blue for a 2/1 human wizard. Each instant and sorcery you use cast is this deck's got lots of heroic in it, by the way, because the commander's ability is basically a heroic ability. Each instant and sorcery is 1 less to cast for each target, which is great. And whenever you cast a spell that targets it, it gains hexproof till end of turn. So really easy to protect this card. Our really easy to protect our bring down. And again, we're going to be able to get our look at the top, look for lands, look for new cards. The fact that it puts it in is just silly. It should have been, if it's a land, put it into play. If not, put it on the bottom. That's how this should read. If they had any idea how to balance a card, that's how it should be. They don't. They just were like, hey, what's up? You want this card that is just straight gasoline? So yeah, take our next one, please.
My goodness. Okay, we have the Chorus of the Tides for 3 in a blue. It is a siren that's a 3/2. It has flying. It has heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets the Chorus of the Tides, you scry 1.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So stupid.
It's good. We can dig for lands more aggressively because again, the more lands we have, the more we can do, the more cards we can get. You guys get the theme. We have Ivy because you have to. There's no way to not put Ivy in this deck. I'm pretty sure if you crack a card, if you crack this this bird wizard of ours, that you get an Ivy with it. Ivy Gleeful Spell Thief is 1 blue, 1 green. I said that backwards for some reason. It's a fairy rogue, 2/1 with flying. Whenever a player casts a spell that targets only a single creature other than it, you may copy it. The copy targets Ivy. So this is just making it so that we can, in any of our things, if we have like something that's like target creature gets +1/+1. Now, for 1 spell, we hit that every turn. We hit our 2 mark every turn. We wanna get that 2 draw every turn.
That's so stupid. It's so good. Don't get me wrong. It's
a crazy
stupid.
commander. It's one of the silliest things I've ever seen.
Yeah. Like, oh my, like it's almost like I already thought back when we were doing a Galadriel, and you had the one that's the scry that I looked at. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. I gotta make a deck out of it. And we saw how many lands I could bring out with that.
That was a good deck, and that's a budget deck. I think that's like a $60 deck or something.
Yeah, $60-$70 deck. This is just as stupid.
This is again, this is a silly enough commander that I Daniel put instants in a deck, and a lot of them. I put a lot of them in here. Just wait till we get down there.
All right. Okay. Next creature we have here is your traditional Lab Maniac for 2 in a blue. It's a 2/2 human wizard. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game.
Yeah. That's fair.
Fine.
This is I have it kind of as a dirtling deck. So a lot of it is just me wanting to get cards. You're gonna draw, you're winning by drawing or by commander damaging people with your flying bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have an obnoxious card. I'll be the first to admit it. It's Sage of Hours. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, it's 1 in a blue for a 1/1 human wizard. Whenever you cast a target spell that targets it, put a 1/1 counter on it, remove all 1/1 counters from it. For each 5 counters removed, take an extra turn. Very, very easy to get a ton of extra turns, especially when our whole deck is things that target creatures.
It's such a good annoying salty card.
Yeah, it's going to be a great way. This is going to get removed. People are going to kill it or
Yeah.
be upset with you. But
Yep.
if it's left alone for even like one go around the table, you can probably get 2, 3 extra turns out of it, and then probably still the same thing.
So stupid. Oh, the next one. I expected this one. It's gonna be the Scoot Swarm. So for 2 and a green, it's a 1/1 insect. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. If you control 6 or more lands, create a token that's a copy of Scoot Swarm instead.
Again, I think it would be criminal to not include that one
Yeah.
with a commander that dumps in lands like that.
Oh my goodness. So oh
Again, usually the downside to running a deck like this is you end up overdrawing yourself. You've got a field full of lands, but this ability takes that away from mattering.
yeah.
We don't care. It's just gonna, if I hit lands, lands are going into play. This deck is nearly all basic lands because nothing I don't want tapped things.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes 100% sense. Yeah.
So it's like really, really cheap on the land base because of that. But again, like when you're dumping so many lands in, it's time for Scoot Swarm.
Oh boy.
Our next one is a Citizen O Swarm, another heroic card. It's a 1/1 for 1 double green. It's a Satyr Warrior. It has heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, you put 2 1/1 counters on it, which again is an absurd ability.
Fun. That's a fun card. Interesting. Oh, what's this one? The next card we have here is Sigil Tracer for 1 double blue. It's a Merfolk Wizard that's a 2/2. You can tap 1 and a blue, tap 2 untapped wizards you control. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Yeah, not even ones you control. Somebody wants to Psych Rift? All right, we're all Psych Rifting. Our commander is a bird wizard. Very, very easy to get that.
I like this card. Oh, it's not a bad price. $7.
Yeah. Again, another great card to go into last week's Omo deck, right?
Yeah.
Pay 2 and just pay 2 and constantly copy. Oh, and this it also doesn't tap it. So in your Omo deck, the Omo Shapeshifter deck, you could just pay like 4 and copy people's cultivates like 4 times.
Or just copied counter spells.
Yeah, gross. Sigil Tracer, I think, is a really, really good one in this deck. It's again, we're very, very instant sorcery heavy, so it's nice to get a copy or 2 of it if we need it. Worst case scenario, we copy other people's stuff too. I think it's just got a lot of versatility in this, especially normally our big worry is that we're gonna get like Psych Rifted or something like that, like blow the board up. The whole point of this deck is that we can get so much stuff. Thunder in our chat says, yeah, target spell or ability, target of a spell or ability didn't register, broken. It is broken. It's pretty crazy broken. And
100%.
and again, it's not even ours. If you try and remove my stuff, that's it. So most of my times I can sit and wait through the whole wave of turn. If you're trying to kill my things on your turn, that's fine. I can cast whatever I want to protect or do what I need to do. And if not, then I'll cast my generic instance to fill it up. Like, this is silly. But a lot of times, if you're trying to remove it for me, you're also ramping me. You might be getting me mana to the field, your group hugging me by trying to kill my commander. By trying to come at my mighty silly bird wizard. How dare you?
Times like this makes me feel that I should put in dress down more often in my decks, just so I can remove all abilities.
Sure should.
Oh, let's see. Whose turn is it? Yours?
Oh, yeah, me. Spark Double. I want my commander to trigger. That's the whole point of the deck, is I want this bird to trigger. I'm going to get a second portrait of the bird and double it up with a Spark Double. Actually, I should just pay. I've got to pay Emery to do so many altars, but I should get her to pay to like do the toucan beak on the Spark Double for this deck. Emery, I've got work. Okay, so Spark Double's 3 and a blue for a 0/0 illusion. You know, enter as a copy of any creature or planeswalker, except it enters with a 1/1 on it if it's creature, and an additional loyalty counter if it's planeswalker, and it isn't a legendary. Again, that's great. That's pretty great. Then we can do it 4 times. It's a problem.
It's so good. The next card we have here is a Triton Cavalry for 3 to blue. It's a Merfolk Soldier. That's a 2/4. It has heroic where Whenever you cast a spell that targets the Triton Cavalry, you may return target enchantment to its owner's hand. Hey, that's really interesting.
I like that one a lot. I'm a big fan of that ability. We have a Triton Fortune Teller, 2 and a blue, another heroic one. Merfolk Soldier, 2/2. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, draw a card. We can really, really draw through the deck in this.
Yeah.
Right. Again, if we're doing it, we're looking at our top 2. Like if we cast 2 instants at it, we're getting our top 2. Then we're drawing 2. Like we're up 4 cards, possibly lands. Pretty good. Let's
That's
hit
so
these. Let's
stupid.
hit these enchantments. They're not horrible. Pretty. Most of these sections are pretty cheap. Like I said, we're right around $100 mark. You can make this deck much better. I'll preface this right now. There's pretty much nothing good in this deck, but it's very cool. I think at least. I think it's interesting. Take us away with our first enchantment.
First one we have here is Awakening for 2 double green. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, untap all creatures and lands. This is such a stupid card.
Yeah, I just want to cast my instants. I'm a simple guy.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
We have Metallurgic Summonings. This is going to be a card that is really cool in our deck. It's going to put in a lot of work because the entire list is like spells. Well, technically everything spells. They're real spells, not creatures and enchantments. You guys get it. It's 3 double blue. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you create an XX colorless construct where X is that spell's mana value, which is phenomenal. It's great token generation. It's going to flood the board in a deck like this. And then for 3 double blue, you exile it, return all instant and sorceries from your graveyard, activate only if you have 6 or more artifacts. And let me tell you, that's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's so easy. It's so easy. My goodness, the amount of the amount of lands you're gonna have. Oh, see, once again,
it should have said
sorry.
tapped. It should have said cards to the bottom. None of it.
Yeah.
Even if it gave you the what's the card abundance like effect where you pick land or non-land, and if you picked land properly, a land goes into play. If you pick non-land, it's just silly. There's no reason they printed this.
Yeah, like it's like even if they just said like if they chose like a spell and then do that, or if it was an ability and then do this, okay, I'm still fine with it. Or not that fine, but I'm still kind of fine. But the fact that it's spell or ability, and then you do all this stuff still, it's just like, come on.
And it's not even ones I control. It's not stuck on my turn. It's not my spells. It's just whatever.
It's oh my goodness. All right, we got to keep going or else I'm going to get annoyed. Oh my goodness. Okay, we got Season of Growth for 1 in a green. When a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you scry 1. And whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, you draw a card. This card is not 35 cents. It should be higher.
Right.
It's so hard to find.
It just got a reprint. That's why.
Oh.
In the Eldraine stuff.
That's why. Okay.
In the bonus sheet. Yeah, it was pretty pricey for a while, and again, you couldn't find it. I stocked up on the Eldraine bonus sheet. That was, again, there's no reason that they printed any of that stuff. Why did they print all these enchantments again in that Eldraine sheet? There's no reason to include them. They just were like, all right, here's a gift.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. We have a Spider Umbra, which will trigger our commander. It's 1 green. It's an enchant creature, 1/1, has reach, totem armor, nice little protection.
Yep. Sweet. Then, oh no, I don't like this card.
In fairness, we are trying to hit our 2 spells a turn. That's the whole deck. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So please take
the next card we have here is Storm of Saruman for 4 double blue. It has Ward 3. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it. Except the copy isn't legendary. You may choose new targets for the copy. So strong.
Every creature in our list is a problem if you get another one of them. Our commander is a very big problem if you get another one.
100%. Oh my god. It's only like $450. Good lord.
Yeah, you don't want me to even have my first commander, let alone a copy of it.
So true. It's so true.
We have a Wilderness Reclamation. Again, we want our lands on tap so we can cast spells. 3 and a green. At the beginning of your end step, untap all lands you control. Again, another $1.49 card. which is just phenomenal. Just there's nothing bad about it. We're gonna skip through this instant section. Don't even look at that. Blah 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 blah. Don't even worry about that.
We have planeswalkers and sorcery.
Do I have? I do have a planeswalker in here. Yes, of course. The only land I would say that matters is our reliquary tower. And again, going through your list, it was really fun last week. We went through your list, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, oh, this is a no max hand size card. Should have included that. Oh, this is a no max hand size card. Should have included that. We have a reliquary tower. You get what you get. It's you're casting the spells. Who cares? They're not supposed to be in your hand. Play them. So the only lands that we have that really matter are reliquary, and then our Mystic Sanctuary gives us a spell back if we have 3 or more islands, which we should. The rest of the deck, very basic. We just got a ton of basic lands. We have like 28 basics.
And like you said, it makes sense because when you bring the lands out to the battlefield, you do not want them to be tapped. You want to be able to use them right away.
Yeah. Well, and there's like a lot of times I'm like putting like duels and shocks into decks and stuff because I've just got a big stockpile of cards like that, right? Well, I'm not putting that in this. This is a terrible deck. This is a terrible deck that has you'll see. You'll see when we get to it. You're not putting good lands in this deck. This deck is just gasoline for it. We have one planeswalker. It's obviously Jace because we're drawing an absurd amount. We're gonna so many cards. Again, you might have noticed in that enchant section, didn't need to put any of the draw 2 cards in it. Unnecessary. So we have Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, 1 triple blue for a 4 loyalty. If you draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win. +1, target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into the graveyard, draw a card, or -8, draw 7 cards. Then if your library has no cards, you win the game. That's a pretty
Easy.
good. Yeah, still pretty good minus. All right.
Yeah.
Now we get to our little baby sorceries here.
Oh, first one we have here is a Cultivate for 2 and a green. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards, put one onto the battlefield, and the other tapped, and the other one into your hand. Then shuffle.
Yeah. I like cultivating like every deck. I'm a simple guy. So here's the first of our weird cards. We need to put our graveyard back into our deck a lot of the time. And a lot of time, it's going to be with no mana left in the deck. We're going to just have 30 mana on the field. So we have a diminishing returns. It's 2 double blue. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library. You remove the top 10 cards of your library from the game. Okay, a little bit of a gamble, but there's nothing in here worth keeping, so who cares? Then each player draws up to 7 cards. They don't have to draw 7 cards. They just draw up to 7.
It's good. It's a good card. It's a fun card.
Diminishing return. You don't see it too much. It's very popular in Dan, but
yeah,
man, Dan's fun.
We need to play Dan.
I would love to do a Dan stream. That'd be so fun.
We need to do that, and we need to do Judge Tower.
Oh, I would love to do that too. That'd be fun.
Yeah, but like diminishing returns, like I know people don't like playing with it just because they don't want to remove the top 10 cards of their library. It's not a big deal.
Our curve is pretty low, like a nice 2.5, and that's because we've got a lot of it. But like if you look at it, we have 18 1 CMC and 22 CMC. Like we've got a lot of cards that are like in that.
Golly.
Yeah.
Good lord.
I'll take the next one so you can have a more fun one. We've got Farseek. 1 in the green, search library for plains, island, swamp, or mountain, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. It's just getting an island. Easy.
Yeah. Fair enough. Next one we have is Game Plan for 5 in a blue. It has assist, so another player can pay up to 5 to cast this spell. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library, then draws 7, and then you exile the Game Plan.
Yeah, a nice little grave reset. And again, a way for other people to cycle through if they just, hey, can you pay into this so we can get a new hand?
Yeah, I love the assist mechanic. One of my favorite things to do with assist is convince a person that plays blue, most of the time playing blue, to help pay for something, and they get a benefit. And I tell them what it is. So let's say it's Game Plan or something like that, and then they pay into it. And like, okay, and then they tap out the mana so that they can't counter anything. So then I cast something like Omniscience or something like that.
That's really funny.
I'm such a jerk.
I like it. We have a Arenicus's Vile Duplication, one of my favorite cards, and a card that desperately needs to be reprinted already. It's 3 and a blue. You create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it has flying and isn't legendary if the creature's legendary. This is making another bird. I just need a stack of these portrait birds.
Oh, that's such a good card. And like you said, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
Ooh. The next card here is an interesting one. It is Quantum Misalignment for 4 and a blue. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it isn't legendary. And it has rebound. So if you cast a spell from your hand, exile it as it resolves. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast this card from exile without paying its mana cost.
Yeah. And
Such a
both of those cards are going to trigger the commander in the first place.
yeah. Oh, so stupid. Such a good card from Doctor Who.
Yeah, that I really really like those a lot. The if you have multiple copies of your commander, you can trigger like again, they'll each trigger 2 times a turn maximum, which is cool. So, we've got a few ways to like I said, just get a few little copies of them out, but again, our sorcery section, nothing to write home about. It's a nice little $20 sorcery section. You could bring the cost of this down by not using diminishing returns. You could put like a elixir of immortality in here. It'd be probably as good, if not better, but that's not how I build. I don't build logically. I go through boxes of cards and then I see what is up.
Fair.
So
Fair.
let's jump into this deck here. The important part of our deck, I would say, it is our instants, and we have 40 of them.
And it still comes out to $20.
Yeah, we have a 40 instant section at $20. Let's go. This is not good, but it's pretty fun. I'll start us off with our first one. Again, the only way to kill people in this deck is going to be to either draw ourselves to a win with Labman or kill them with commander damage because it has flying. So we start off with an aggressive urge. 1 in a green, target creature gets 1/1 till end of turn, and you draw a card. Again, we really, really are going to get a lot of cards in hand.
Yeah. I just like the fact that you have a card draw.
No, I've got nothing but.
The next one here is Awaken the Bear for 2 and a green. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. That trample is nice.
Yeah, that's the trample's actually for when people try block our commander, and we want to roll through their flyers so that they don't have blockers later on.
Makes sense.
Yes. We have a big play, 1 and a green. And again, we've got to remember that all of these are potentially counting as ramp and are as card draw. So any card draw that's stapled onto them is, again, extra. Because if aggressive urge, red, target creature gets 1/1 until end of turn, you may put a land into play or draw a card. That would be in every deck.
Yeah.
Right? So we've got big play. Target creature is going to get a 2/2 and gain reach until end of turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. All of these are things that we can cast on anyone's turn. Who cares? Doesn't matter.
Ooh. Next one is a fun one I love. It's Blur for 2 and a blue. Exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control, and you draw a card.
Yeah, so we're just out here resetting our commander, having a good time, still getting draw, still getting more ramp, resetting that ability to keep it going. Again, the fact that the lands that you get come in untapped is crazy because depending on your shuffle, you might just get like 2 lands back to back and then be able to cast your next one after you flicker and then just do 2 more again.
Yeah, because like even Galadriel was the scry one, like they come into play tapped, and that's already a problem. This one comes into play untapped. Like, come on.
The fact that it says the word put into play and doesn't have tapped, it is an oversight in the balancing. It
should have been
truly is.
tapped.
Yeah.
Oh.
We have a Bombadil's Song, 1 and a green. Target creature control gets 1/1 and hexproof until end of turn. The ring tempts you.
Great card. I love this card so much. It's so good.
Again, like I said, we have protection. The only thing we want to do is keep our commander alive, but we're gonna have enough mana to recast it. So that's how I'm threatening people. I'm just gonna keep swinging my commander at you. If you kill it, I've got nothing but mana. Nothing but mana. Nothing but time.
Mana for days. Oh, next one you have is Charge Through for a green. Target creature gains trample until end of turn, and you draw a card.
Yeah.
Nice. Simple.
We have a lot of drawing here. Chilling Trap. 1 blue. We can use this defensively if we need to, but also I just use it on my commander. Target creature you control gets 4/0 till end of turn. If you control a wizard, draw a card.
I like this.
Yeah. Again, it's nice if people are coming at us. We can chill them down a little bit especially if they're trying to kill our commander, and we'll still get a draw. We won't lose out on it.
I still I still gotta put together a deck where it's nothing but like ice themed because I want to like say lines from the stupid Batman and Robin movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. Be like, "Ice to see you."
I used to see it. Chill out.
Chill out. Hey everyone, freeze!
I like that. I like these.
So stupid.
I like this deck.
Oh,
Get
something's wrong with
get
me.
an get a again bug Emery. Get her to
Yeah.
edit a Hilda and into a Arnold Schwarzenegger Hilda, just like buff Hilda.
Oh no, no, no. Let's not. The world does not need to see something like that.
It's hilarious though.
Oh, next card we have is Displace for 2 in a blue. Exile up to 2 target creatures you control. Then return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control.
Yeah.
More reset.
Well, not only more reset, but it's targeting two things. So we're gonna get
That's
our
true.
commander ability for 3 mana and reset it so that we can keep doing it.
So true.
And it might pay for one of its mana itself.
Ah.
If we have the that battle Thaumatage as well, then
Yeah.
it's one less for each. So we might be able to pay 1 mana. We might be able to from there flicker it, get another mana out, and just have like a free cast.
Good golly.
Yeah,
Good golly.
it's pretty silly. We've got our dive down. 1 blue, target creature you control gets 0/3 and hexproof till end of turn.
Good, solid.
A
We
lot of
have
interaction, yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of interaction, like a lot of hexproof, a lot of protection, which is it's needed. It's really good. The next one we have here is Elvish Fury for a single green. It has buyback of 4. I love that already. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn.
If we're running through our deck and we have 20 mana, spending 5 of it's not going to matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with like an awakening out and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
You know, just dump Elvish Fury into my commander twice. Next turn starts, all my lands untap, dump it in twice.
Yeah.
Explosive Growth is another interesting one. You don't really see this card very much. It's got a kicker, so it's 1 green. Target creature gets 2/2 until end of turn, which is again decent and nearly the boon cycle level. And then if you pay the kicker, it gets 5/5 until end of turn instead, which is again a problem on your commander if you have a flyer.
Yeah. So for 6 mana, you get like it becomes like a 7/7. It's not bad.
Our commander, I think, is a 3/4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so an
it gets
8,
big.
an 8, 9. Sorry.
Oh, it gets big. Woo. Okay, next one we have is Fleeting Distraction for a blue. Target creature gets -1/-0 until end of turn, and then you draw a card.
A lot of nice little cantrippy one cost ones.
Yeah.
A Ghostly Flicker is going to do the same thing as that Displace. 2 and a blue. Exile 2 target artifacts, creatures, and or lands you control. Return them to the battlefield under your control. So nice quick bounce. Get it in, get it out, hit both of our things, and reset our commander.
Yeah. I love Ghostly Flicker. It's so good. So useful. We
Again,
got
like I said, the fact that we can get so much drawing going and that flicker kind of stuff it's just so silly because we can get this one spell is going to trigger it, and then we've got the ability to go to the next one. So even if we
Yeah.
look back like 2 cards, right? We
Yeah.
play Fleeting Distraction. We play for 5 mana. We're gonna be getting 4 cards to hand, 5 cards to hand,
It's
or
so
or
stupid.
land to field. Yeah,
Yeah. It's so like the card advantage is so crazy
the
that the ratio is just way off the charts.
a landfall based deck on this too could also be really fun because again, you just a lot of land is going to come out like that. There's no way around it. The Scry deck showed exactly how powerful that land ramping mechanic can be when it's unbridled. You know that there's a reason channels banned.
Yeah. Well, like imagine like having like with the landfall having what's that card that every time a land comes in you steal something.
Oh yeah, Risen Reef or not Risen Reef.
Um
I know what you're
Royal.
talking about. Yeah, Royal Elemental.
Yeah. Like you have a Royal Elemental and like you just do the landfall, and you just literally steal the whole board.
Yeah, exactly. Steal their hearts
It's
and
so
minds.
stupid. Oh my goodness.
The whole that everyone hates you.
There's I don't play with Royal Elemental just because it's so salty.
It is a really salty card. It's not fun to play into.
It is not fun to play into. It's not fun. But anyways, we got the next card here. Giant growth, nice and traditional. I love it. You should do the old artwork, the one with the giant mouse or giant rat eating the bones.
Let me see what one we got here. Let's go down to
So
third. No, that's Masters third edition.
yeah, like third edition for revised, nice and traditional.
10th edition. Oh, 10th edition with the bear. I'm all right with that one.
Okay, there you go. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
All right. But anyways, so giant growth is a target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. It's your classic.
Yeah. Again, one of the original Boon Cycle ones. It's great. You can't 3+3/+3. Our commander's hitting for 6 now, and getting us our draw into hand advantage kind of thing.
Yeah.
We have an illusionist stratagem next. 3 and a blue. Exile up to 2 target creatures you control. Return them to the battlefield under their owner's control. Draw a card. So again, this is like a get 3 minimum for us.
Yes. Oh, so good. So
and
good.
resets again. Just the fact that we can reset that commander ability and keep using it, just bonkers.
That is literally that is the most annoying thing. Like, and that plus the fact that it says twice a turn. If it was once a turn, at least it wouldn't be as bad. But the fact that it says twice a turn, like there's so many things that are broken with this commander.
The twice a turn, it really does like it wrecks a lot of I would say what's like fair balance play, because yeah, like I said, the being able to look at 4 cards a turn, even if we only have 1 copy of our commander because we reset it, that's a lot, right? 4 on our turn, 2 on yours, 2 on Slothy's, 2 on whoever else we're playing with, right? Like we're looking like 10 cards deep now. You're gonna have, if you're building a deck that isn't horrendous, or you're not the most unlucky person, you're gonna hit some lands in those 10 cards.
Like
You
the
should.
way I yeah, the way I look at it right now at this point in time, it's like a better Sylvan library
Yeah.
in your command zone.
Again, just the fact that it brings those lands into play, and those lands come into play untapped and lets us just like cantrip through is just a lot.
It's
That's why,
bonkers.
like I said, I know I should have more max hand size things, but I just want to power cast everything out. That's why we have so
Yeah.
much graveyard reset.
Yeah.
And Echo of
Oh.
Eons is really good in this deck. It's in the pile I put together downstairs, but it's like $25 or something right now. So I was like, you know what? I can't justify putting a $25 card into our quote unquote budget list. So that's where the assist one came in. But Echo of Eons is great in here too. Another reset.
I honestly might need to build this deck too.
I think that you'd build a really cool version of this, but it's like I said, this is a really good shell, and it's, at least I think it's a really good shell, and it's pretty silly. It's
It
a lot
is.
of cards. Like the next one, take the next one, please. You don't see this one.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I'm just ranting for so long here. So I need my inner calm and outer strength for 2 and a green. And target creature gets plus X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand.
That's gonna hurt.
That's a cool card.
Yeah,
I like that.
that is a cool card, and it's an arcane, and we have splice onto arcane cards like the next one, so we can do other things. As you play an arcane spell, you can reveal this card from your hand and pay its splice cost. If you do, you add this effect to the next one, so we're allowed to just keep it going a little bit. Kind of nice.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we're gonna have like 7+ cards in hand. This is a way to kill people with the commander.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hands down.
it's gonna hurt. Kodama's Might is the next one. The nice thing too is that it's a cast ability, right? Like, so whenever we're casting spells that target. So when we're trying to commander damage people with combat, even if we've got let's say that I inner calm, outer strength, and I have nothing else. Like I've got 7 cards in hand, but they're for some reason all lands that I've drawn. I get +7/+7 on my commander. It's a 10/10, and I draw into a giant growth with
Yeah.
that. Then I can go again, giant growth it. Now we've got a 13/13, and then we can put any other combat trick after that. So you can blitz people with commander damage pretty easy with this deck.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Because every time you're refilling your hand when you're casting these combat tricks.
Such a stupid commander.
Yeah,
So overpowered.
we have Kodama's Might. It's 1 green. Target creature gets 2/2 till end of turn, and it does have that splice onto arcane. So you can again while you cast it. As you play an arcane spell, you can reveal this from your hand and pay its splice cost. If you do, you add its cost to it. So we've got a few arcanes in here. So
Yeah. Next one we have is Lace with Moon Glove. So it's 2 and a green. Target creature gains Death Touch till end of turn, and you draw a card. Solid card.
I like that one a lot. Nice little more cantrippy. We
Yeah,
have a leap. Our commander already has flying, but we can get another card through if we need to. 1 blue. Target creature gains flying until end of turn, and you draw a card.
fantastic. I love this card. The next card we have here is Leech Bite for 1 and a green. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Another target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Fantastic. I love this.
Yeah, again, we can kill something. We can kill birds early if we want, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But we can, like, the fact that this is going to trigger our commander twice, right? We want those cards that we can get both triggers in one cast, and 2 mana to dig 2 cards, especially if we're bouncing and stuff. I really, really like that because our commander getting -1/-1 on your turn doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Exactly.
Oh no! It's a 2/3 now.
Ooh.
Yeah. We have Might of the Nephilim, which is a card I'm really, really enjoying lately. I picked up a lot of these. It's 1 and a green. Target creature gets 2/2 until end of turn for each of its colors.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So again, the fact that every one of these has draw stapled on it and ramp, like draw, and we're gambling at ramp. It's just it just makes casting all of these just such a blast, such a fun time.
Yeah. Oh my, you're just such a huge problem every single time. Like, oh my goodness.
You're
Next,
almost solitairing with yourself, like in a feather deck, right? Because you're just sitting there
yeah,
and you're being like, okay, well, I'll just end step, I have a response, sorry. End step, I have a response, sorry. I'm gonna
yeah.
kill your commander. I hope you're packing a lot of removal. And even if you're not, okay, I cast my commander again.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that's why you need things like Kendra's transformation, or Dark Steel mutation, things like that. Things that target the commander, but it doesn't remove the commander at the same
Yeah,
time.
because we've got so much mana, right? At least
Yeah.
we can blink it out, but then I have to look for those cards. Then there's a problem at least.
It slows you down slightly,
Yeah.
but until you get those answers, you're just plowing through everything. Oh, then let's go to the next card here. So the next card here is Mortal's Resolve for 1 in a green. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Fantastic.
Yeah, we got, like I said, for once, a lot of interaction. I don't even know what that word means. We have a planar incision, a 1 and a blue. Exile target artifact or creature, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. A reset, it's making our commander bigger.
Yeah, good, solid. Next one we have is Poison the Blade for 1 in a green. Target creature gains Death Touch till end of turn and you draw a card. I love this. I love this so much.
Yeah, it's I do really like the Death Touch is nice to get through some. They want to block us with a bigger flyer. Okay, well, it's dying.
Well, I like using this as a surprise on other people's creatures. Like,
Yeah, true.
someone's attacking one of your allies. You're like, okay, just block, and they block with a 1/1 against like a 10/10. And you're like, okay, give it Death Touch. I draw a card. Have fun.
Well, yeah, and it's still giving us that draw even if we're not targeting our own thing, right?
Exactly.
We have a Primal Bellow, which is something that can again blitz our opponents. It is 1 green. Target creature gets 1/1 until end of turn for each forest you control.
Such a good card.
We
Such a
can
good
also
card.
use that like you were just saying offensively. We can just say straight out like, oh, someone's making a deal where they're like, oh, I'll attack you for like 2, just don't block. I need to get through, and I'm like, all right, you hit him for 30.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of players tend to play combat tricks like this on their own stuff only. It's
Mhm.
like, no, you can play with other people's stuff. They just people are naturally greedy.
Yep.
So you want to use your spells for yourself, So if they don't think of like, oh, okay, like I can do this for my opponents, because it would benefit them and not you. But it is what it is. But Primal Bellow is a great card, though. You do not see that enough.
True.
The next card here is a quick change for 1 in a blue. Target creature's color becomes the color of your choice until end of turn, and you draw a card.
The color or colors. So if someone's playing like a protection deck, you can be like, I make yours 5 color, and you lose all your auras.
Yeah,
What's up?
so brutal.
But again, right, another just way to cycle through draw cards. A lot of these like are like double or triple cantripping us.
Yeah,
We have a refocus. 1 and a blue. You untap target creature. You draw a card. Again, we can politics with it and give someone an untap if they need more mana. Because again, we're still getting our draw, or we can use it to dump into like our Triton thing where we target it, our Triton heroic that lets us draw. We draw, we look at our top card. If it's a land, it goes into play. Like,
yeah, fantastic. Ooh, here's a good card. It's refresh for 2 and a green. Regenerate target creature. You draw a card.
I think you finally get through it, and I just refresh and start drawing again.
I beats within. I refresh. Yay! Thanks for the 3 beast and a chance to to ramp.
This is another card that can pseudo blitz our opponents because we can get so many cards in hand, right?
Yeah,
Scent of Ivy for 1 green. You reveal any number of green cards in your hand. Target creature gets XX till end of turn, where X is the number of cards this way. So if you've got like a mitt of like 30 cards and you can reveal like 15, like again, we can blitz with commander damage pretty easy.
this is a great card. I've never seen this card.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's interesting, right?
I need to add that to my collection. Oh, this is a card that I love using. Shadow Rift for single blue. Target creature gains shadow until end of turn, and you draw a card.
I wasn't kidding. We are drawing like nuts in this deck.
We are drawing like nuts. Like I'm jealous. Like the amount of card drawing, like land advantage you have with this deck. Like I seriously need to build this now.
I personally love commanders that let me draw cards or like do things like draw like Selvala. I've got like 13 Selvala decks. I think I actually have like 5. But like anything that like gives me draw from the command zone. I've got like 2 separate Kefnet decks. I've got 2 separate Fibblethip decks. Anything that gives me any semblance of draw from the command zone, I find very fun.
Agreed. Agreed.
Right? We have a Siren's Ruse. I don't think that's grammatically correct, by the way. That looks like it's Sirens is Ruse. We have Sirens is Ruse. For 1 blue, it's an instant exile target creature you control. Return to the battlefield under your control. If a pirate was exiled this way, draw a card. It doesn't matter. We're still, again, we're trying to reset our ability to be annoying.
Yeah. Next card we have here is a fun one. It's a Stonewood Invocation for 3 and a green. It has split second. Target creature gets +5/+5 until end of turn and cannot be a target of spells or abilities this turn.
Yeah, really nice protection as well. Split second protection is pretty great.
Yeah,
But again, that 5/5 is big.
it is. And like, let's take a moment to look at the artwork here. It's so hilarious because all they did was change the size of the unicorn.
They literally just zoomed it. Yeah, they drew one thing, they split the card in half, and they're like, zoom.
Oh, it's so funny. I love it.
It's pretty cool. We have Stream of Unconsciousness as well. This is a tribal instant wizard. It's 1 blue. Target creature gets -4/-0 till end of turn. If you control a wizard, draw a card. Again, the exact same way as above, where we can use it offensive or defensive. It's still drawing us a card.
Yeah,
Again, my commander becoming a 0/4 on your turn, it doesn't affect me at all. Not in the
true.
slightest. Or again, any of my cards becoming a 0/4.
Oh my goodness, the flavor text on this one's so good. So
I
it
like
says
that.
dreams are tempting because one is so powerful in them. Dreams are dangerous because that power is a lie. Oh,
That's pretty sick. Magic has
shots
such good
fired.
flavor text. I could do a whole other show on just me reading Magic the Gathering flavor text for an hour at a time.
I know they're so like you got some great bangers here.
Well, even if we look at like the Sirens is Ruse, that's what I'm calling it from now on. Deception and misdirection are the heart of the pirate's arsenal. Stonewood,
Yeah.
might of ancient wood and stone into spirit, flesh and bone. Curse of Ra, Schwam.
Yeah. So good. Oh hey, you do have this card in here.
You had a good call, yeah.
Yeah. Sway of Illusion for 1 in a blue. Any number of target creatures become the color of your choice until end of turn and you draw a card. I forgot about the draw a card part.
Yeah. Again, it's nice. It can fully for 2 mana hit our commander threshold of it. Again, we also have like Ivy. We've got the Song of Saruman. Like, there's a lot of really annoying things for us to copy with this,
Yeah.
right? We have a Teferi's Time Twist. 1 and a blue. Exile target permanent you control. Return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So again, someone else's turn. If it enters as a creature, it enters with an additional 1/1. So again, I've already been obnoxious. Cast my instance on your turn. Teferi's Time Twist. You go to your end step. Comes back. I start doing it again.
Yeah.
I'm
Annoying.
six cards deep on your turn. Just playing. I'm playing everyone's turn.
Oh, so annoying. So annoying. Oh, the next card we have is Tel Jalad Defiance for 1 and a green. Target creature gains protection from artifacts until end of turn. You draw a card. Ha! Funny.
Yeah. Again, we're on a theme. Twisted Image. 1 blue. Switch target creature's power and toughness on a turn, which actually does matter in our commander. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It becomes a 4/3, and you draw a card.
That one damage sometimes does matter, and this is a great removal for anything that has like 0 power.
Yeah. It's yeah, like for walls and stuff. I
Yeah.
found out so it's like a very, very fun, really quickly. We've got a minute to rant here. Power toughness switching is the last thing applied ever. So if I had something that like gave a creature +3/+0, and
Yeah.
then I played Twisted Image, right? Like, so on my commander, let's say it's +3/+0, it's now a 6/4.
Yeah.
And then I had played Twisted Image before that, so that it'd be plus like 4 in that. The Twisted Image's power is always applied at the very bottom of everything. So I wouldn't
Oh.
get that benefit in the opposite direction. So
Yeah.
like if you have something that like is buffing the power more and not toughness, like again like a +3/+0 thing, and you've switched the power, that is applied before the power switch, and it's on the opposite side.
Huh.
So like
That's
if I
interesting.
yeah, so like if I like I said a +3/+0, which would make, you would think if I had Twisted Image makes it a 4/3, then I +3/+0, it wouldn't be a 7/3, it would be a 4/6. So something fun to be aware of, just interesting, annoying layer rules.
Yeah. Oh, the layers. Like a cake or an onion.
True.
Next card we have here is Untamed Might for X and a green. Target creature gets +X until end of turn. Let me guess, you're gonna just pay 0 most of the time.
0 early game, or we're gonna kill someone with it late game.
That is true. That is true. Late
We've
game
got
always
them. We
matters.
got the mana, yeah.
Yeah.
We have a Verdant Rebirth. It is 1 and 1 green. Until end of turn, target creature gains. When it dies, return it to its owner's hand, and you draw a card. This is going to be great for a lot of our heroic cards, our Avenger of Zendikar. By the way, I haven't even mentioned it. We can be blinking Avenger of Zendikar this whole time, too.
That's
A,
true.
a lot of these
That's
things
true.
blink 2 cards. We have a lot of lands. Deal with my plants.
Once again, you may put a +1/+1 counter on all your plans.
I,
Ask that you reconsider.
I simply have 80 0/1s, but as a threat, I'm going to get
Yeah.
Rakdos Charmed in every game.
This is why you die from Rakdos Charm. All right, we have come to our final card. That is Viridescent. Viridescent. Ooh, wow. I'm tired. Viridescent Wisps for a single green. Target creature becomes green and gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and you draw a card.
Yeah.
Ah, so fun.
We need some real big like mitts to hold all these cards that are gonna be in our hand for this. This is
That's a lot of cards.
the one thing that's gonna probably be a problem for the deck. I would say the one downside is if you have an issue you and I don't have this issue, but if you have an issue tracking board state, a lot of players can be disrupted by wheeling their hand away because now they've got new cards, they've got to rethink their turn that they had been planning and stuff. If you don't have, if you're not good at tracking the board state, this is going to be real problematic to like draw 4 or 5 more cards a turn, try figure out what you're going to do with them. You might miss like triggers, like there's going to be a lot of triggers in this deck.
It's called practice.
It is practice, right? But
Yeah.
if you have a hard time keeping track of like a board state, If you don't like sorting through like 20 cards in hand, then this might be like a more difficult deck to play. But like I said, I am really, really proud of this list. I saw this commander, thought that it looked really, really dumb, saw the profile artwork of it, and I was like, this is hilarious. It is the only profile I've ever liked so far, and it's so stupid looking. I love every part of it. I need it in my life. And I started brewing this deck like we were I was just at home like relaxing watching like a show on Netflix with my wife. She's like, "Why are you on your phone so much?" I was like, make it a deck, just relax." Then I went downstairs and I started like pulling cards for this list, and I was like, "All right, don't have this card, don't have this card, I have this card." And this is what became of it. So this is what I've pulled out of my box of junk. It's not very good, but it's pretty cool.
It's like overall, okay. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love this deck tech. This is fantastic. This is like on theme, great budget, everything. The commander, like, I have to like the whole episode I've been ranting about the commander.
Yeah.
It's just so strong. Like, they should have made this should not have been allowed. How about that?
No, and again, like we don't really have much in the way of our normal ramp. We don't have our Land of
Yeah.
Wars. We don't have like arcane signets, any even like moss diamonds, right?
Yeah.
We're pretty straightforward with what we're doing. We're doing combat tricks. We're hitting it. There's so many good ways to do this. You could do activated abilities like matter, like target creature, like almost like an experiment Kraj style
Yeah.
deck. There's a lot of really really good ones at that. You could do artifacts that are like really really cheap to equip, like any of the zero cost artifacts. So you can just bounce them back and forth. There's like I said, there's so many cool ways. An aura deck of this would be really really strong and really really fun to like Voltron your commander with. I thought that instants were going to be like the cheapest way to cantrip and slam
Instants are
people
more
with.
fun. Yeah, instants are more fun, especially considering that you have the like a lot of them with the draw tacked onto it.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is that Simic's not really the color of blitzing people with commander damage, right? Like so like
That's true.
the fact that you're playing this almost like a deck that has red, right? Like with that aggro intention of once my bird's out, right? Like there's
Yeah.
I've got so many cards in hand that are like 1 mana and start giving people like the you might be taking 6 commander damage the turn I start while I start my nonsense ramp up, right?
And that's the thing. Like you're like like you said, like I'm used to seeing spell slingers mostly in is it
Right?
colors, like with the new Stelly, for example, or like Valak, where you have the cost reductions, like stuff like that. But like seeing it in blue is like it's not like like it's uncommon. It's not rare, but it's very uncommon. And like yeah, like it's nice to see stuff like this. But like oh my goodness, it's like you said, there's so many different directions you can go with this commander, and like the fact that you're able to do so much and go through your deck and like basically like mill like not mill out, but like you know go for a lab maniac win on such a crazy budget is outrageous.
Yeah, right. Well, and you're getting around a lot of things that hurt draw decks, right? Like going into a Nekusar, I'm not going to get as hurt because a lot of this is put into hand, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the, like I said, an Omen Machine kind of lock where players can't draw cards. That's not like if you want to like bring up the salt of your deck a little bit, you've got a lot of like potential with this commander. But I just, like I said, I don't know how this snuck past like the design team where they thought that this would be okay. I can't think of any way to build this deck that I don't think is absurdly broken. Again,
Agreed.
that's half of the reason Leovold's banned is because when you try to target Leovold, I don't get it because you might see that I have 1 mana on the field and be like, you know what? He's probably not got anything that can protect his commander at 1 mana. You target it with a Path to Exile to finally get rid of my shenanigans. I reveal a land top deck and then I Bombadil's Song because I've got the new land. Like
Yeah.
there's no way that they didn't play test this card.
Oh, hands down, he did not.
No,
Hands down, he did not.
no. The design team was like, hey, like we think this will be like a fun thing. The art team was just like draw the silliest toucan looking bird you can. It's yeah, I don't like I said, I don't know how this got through the design team. I thought it was fake. I literally thought that this was not a real card because I was like, well, that's too good. I thought that
Yeah.
it might have been a translation error from one of the spoiler sites or something, or no, this is just it. They just thought that this would be fine.
Fun for whoever's playing with it, not fun for everyone else.
Yeah,
But like,
Nadu's nuts.
yeah. But once again, like we'll see what happens because like I like this almost the same thing kind of happened with Hinata when it first came out
Hmm.
because Hinata was like
Such
every
reduction, yeah.
yeah because like all the spells that you use to target something like you reduce by one so like Helios intervention for 2 white you can wipe the board of all artifacts and enchantments, right? You know, and like when it when that commander first came out, you saw it like everywhere. Everyone was playing it. You know, I have an Hinata deck, I'll admit,
Yeah.
and it's super strong. But at the same time, like as time goes on, less and less people have it because it's not fun to play against.
I think my Hinata deck was named something like Hinata Good Time. So
Not a,
it's something silly like that. Like I know it's something dumb like that because I know how my brain works. And yeah, my
yeah,
Hinata deck's very unfun.
but and that's the thing. Like with this, like this is a commander where I feel that when people read it and see how stupid powerful it is, you're going to see a bunch of these. And then as time goes on and people start playing it and they're like, my play group doesn't really enjoy playing against this, you know? So
I,
you're going to see less and less because it's so stupid strong.
I think the opposite. I think a lot of people are going to underestimate how absurd that ability is and just be like, eh,
That's true. Give and take. But
right?
yeah,
Like
I agree with you. I think it's stupid strong.
I really want to do one of these decks, like with this commander, where you focus on specifically getting out the Eye of the Storm kind of cards, where everyone casts each instant that's in there every time. That'd be really
Oh,
fun, so that every time, like it's all just draw, and like every time anyone gets a spell, like I copy 30 draw spells, or they copy 30 draw spells, because these aren't like good cards to copy. Like they're most of them are pretty bad cards on
yeah.
their
So
own.
like yeah, so you have things like that, or like what's a new one from Doctor Who, River Song's Diary?
Yeah.
You know, things like that. I can see stuff like that being like interesting in a Nadu deck. Yeah, no,
But yeah,
that,
like I said, this one just from the playtesting of it, again, Nadu's not out yet. Nadu started yesterday, and believe it or not, I didn't sit down and play a full night of Magic with Nadu. As you may have heard last week, I was making spaghetti sauce. Quite a lot of it.
yeah,
Quite a lot of it. I've been thinking about that since episode 1. I'm starving. But the like I said, this Nadu, I brewed this quickly, and I just think that it's going to be a really, really fun list to play. I hope that my friends have fun, but I think like you, I think it's more likely what you were saying, that people might be like, you know what, that kind of overperforms, especially because a lot of times when you're doing like a rule zero conversation, right?
yeah,
You try base it on a few things, and if you base it on the cards in this deck sucks. This is like a
yeah,
3 if you base it on the
yeah,
cards in it, right? But with the commander's ability and how fast you can cycle through, like I always say that like the C and CEDH is like for consistency, and
yeah,
with how consistent you can be in a deck that lets you cycle 8 cards a turn, that's crazy. Or 8 cards like a round, right? Like it's pretty hard to reconcile that that's going to be as randomized, right? So I think that although the cards suck and the budget's there, because again, I can you could kind of sandbag the table a little bit and just be like, oh yeah, like I'm playing a budget deck, it's like $100, and everyone's like,
yeah.
oh okay, cool. And then you know, turn 6, I've got 18 cards in hand, and I'm hitting people with a primal bellow, right?
Yeah,
A really
like
good card in your Galadriel deck. You had a lot of cards that were good for fetching lands to the top of the library,
yeah,
and like any of those would be great too, because again, that's just like unmitigated ramp then when you're targeting your creatures.
yeah. Like the main one for that one was Scouting Trek, where you can grab as many basic lands as you want and put them on top of your library.
Even just imagine grabbing 8 lands
Yeah,
and then getting through like a normal cycle of turns. Let's say that we're able to cantrip on one turn, that's 2 mana. We do a cantrip in another, we're at like a 5 mana. We do a displace, which is 7, so we get our another 2. Sorry, 8, and then we do like 2 more. Like, so we've spent 7 mana. We've ramped up 8 more mana. That's all available for us to play.
That's so stupid. Like that's like they should have said like the lands come into play tap just like Galadriel.
Yep. Again,
They should have.
tapped would make this card fair. It's not a fair card right now. It
Yeah.
overperforms in every metric, and that's why I had to build it, obviously, and because of the
Yeah.
artwork.
My goodness. Yeah. Like seriously. Like you've sold me. I like Galadriel. Like it's getting taken apart, and Nadu is going to be in this place instead. Like
I honestly think just leave Galadriel aside.
that's
And
true.
just,
Galadriel is fun.
this Nadu's gonna. It's just a rare. It's gonna be a cheap card. It's gonna be like $1 card.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like $1 or 4 Talrands.
My
They
goodness.
need to stop reprinting Talrand.
Like
Also,
like
one of the worst portrait arts I've ever seen. All of the portrait arts I think look so bad, but this one has a place in my heart. It's dumb.
this one's just fun. But yeah, we'll see what happens. How many packs are cracked for the set that comes out?
You know what? You're right about that, because just because it's a cheap card, if no one's buying the set, and I've seen a lot of people unhappy about the price.
Yeah. Well, like when they first came out, like they announced it on like Amazon, it was like what for like a box was like something stupid. Like we're in Canada, so we're going to use Canadian prices, but it's like something like $600 or something like that.
Yeah, the prices are pretty crazy. And again, like the decks seem good and everything, but I just I don't know. They shouldn't have spoiled the Bloomborough stuff so early, because I'm just like, okay, well, I'm gonna wait for Bloomborough. It looks interesting. It looks fun.
Looks so good.
They have a group hug precon. How can I not, right? But like
Yeah.
I don't know how big the market for 5-color Eldrazi really was. And then
People like Eldrazi's, but I'm kind of upset that they brought back Annihilator.
in pretty
Annihilator
silly
is
ways,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, Annihilator is not a fun mechanic.
No, it's you have to play around. It's just like playing against Turgid, right? No one likes to play against Turgid. I've never heard the words, "Hey, your Turgid deck was very fun to play against." I
Yeah.
think that would activate someone like a sleeper agent. Like it's like a code no one would ever say and everything. I'm like, "Oh man, that Turgid deck was so fun." And then somebody like just comes to life and tries to assassinate someone because I activated a secret code word of their CIA training. Like, no, it doesn't exist. Those aren't words that are English language.
Yeah. Like if they're bringing back like things like Annihilator, like bring back my banding. I love banding. It's
Banding's a
funny.
cool mechanic, right?
It's funny because they got rid of banding because they were saying it's too complicated. Yet we have things like mutate, and now everyone's
Mutate and 13 card stack triggers, yeah.
yeah, and now everyone keeps on talking about banding because lately like especially like last like a bunch of shows, especially like Command Zone, talked about banding. And they're like, "Oh my god, we never didn't know about this." I'm like, "How often have I been talking about banding and how much I want it back?" Like, I miss banding so much.
Yeah. Banding's a cool
Anyway.
mechanic. But yeah, I say we wrap there.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. You have your spaghetti sauce.
Yeah, exactly. I got spaghetti sauce to get to. Thank you guys for getting through this episode. Do you think this is a balanced commander? What would you put in this list? If you like what we do, come to our website, www.into-the-99. Why am I saying W? You guys get it, into-the99.com. I'm old. I'm an old man today. All of our content's there. We've got great articles. Our videos go up. Lots of cool gameplay stuff planned. We've got a pretty good plan for the year, so it should be fun. Like, share, subscribe. It really helps out. It's a free way to support us. It really, really does matter. The more positive ratings we have in 5 stars, the more people find it, the more we get recommended. And again, it's just a nice thing. Nice way to show that you appreciate my silly deck lists. And yeah, if you want to go above and beyond that, come over to Patreon. It's a pretty cool place to hang out. Lots of great people that are on Patreon. We build a lot of decks. We've been talking like illegal partners this time, so we're going to be doing some of that. I like making illegal decks. It's another great way. It's like as little as $1. You'll get this video early and stuff, so you would have seen this a week early. You would have been able to jump on it before all these cards spike in price, and it's a $400 deck because of my vast influence. If you need sleeves for decks like this, go to AI Armor. They're great. They've been just wonderful to work with, and the product's wonderful. It speaks for itself. So definitely go grab some of those. If you want to proxy this deck, it'd probably be actually more expensive to proxy, but you could go to abyssproxyshop.com, use promo code IT99. That's it. I got lots to say. That's pretty much it. That's the gist of it.
Yeah.
I still have to name my Nadu deck, but I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, it's fun, and yeah, hope everyone checks it out. Catch you all next time. Laters.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, I'll put it to our outro screen. There we go. All right, now bye.
Bye.